Okay, welcome to this our course Mathematical Physics Calculus. In the last class, I explained you what an infinite series and how this infinite sum of this infinite series can be a finite term, provided that series is a convergent series. And to test the convergence, what we do, that we take a partial sum, and this partial sum of n number of terms is a function of n, and when limit n tends to infinite, if this partial sum approaches a limiting value, then we say the series is convergent, and in that case our series has a finite value. And particularly today we shall discuss Taylor series, which is again a polynomial approximation of different functions like logarithmic and trigonometric, etc. Okay. So, to arrive at this Taylor series, let us take an example of a function and we approximate it with polynomial functions. Okay. So, let us take f of x is equal to e to the power x. Okay. Let us take f of x is equal to e to the power x. Then at x is equal to 0, the function value is 1, is not it? And we know f dash of x is e to the power x, f double dash x is e to the power x, third derivative of x is e to the power x, so on. So, at x is equal to 0, all the higher orders derivative is 1, is equal to 1. So, the function value at x is equal to 0 is 1, and all the higher order derivatives at x is equal to 0 is also 1. Now, we have to assume a polynomial function which will be very close to this function e to the power x. Okay. And this polynomial function is a sum of infinite series. Okay. And we will proceed step by step from finite to infinite terms. Okay. Let us first draw this e to the power x curve. X at x is equal to 0, it is 1. So, the curve is like this. Okay. This is our e to the power x function. Okay. Now, let us assume a linear function, say g of x is equal to 1 plus x. It is a linear polynomial. We will start with an approximation of this function as a linear polynomial, g of x is equal to 1 plus x. So, at x is equal to 0, g of x is equal to 1, and what is the g dash x at x is equal to 0? At g dash x is again 1, and at x is equal to 0 it is also 1. So, at least it matches the values of the function value and first derivative at x is equal to 0. Okay. And what this function? This is nothing but the, it is obviously it is linear function, it is a straight line, and it is only the tangent at x is equal to 0 to the function e to the power x. So, this is simply the tangent at x is equal to 0. This is e to the power x. This linear polynomial we have discussed 1 plus x is only a tangent at x is equal to 0 1 to the curve e to the power x. Okay. So, the overlapping of the of this linear polynomial is only one point here to the e to the power x. So, obviously, the difference is quite large. So, then we shall attempt another term of polynomial with a quadratic term. Say, let us define a quadratic polynomial now, 1 plus x square by 2. Okay. Now, you see at x is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, q of x is equal to 1. Okay. What is the value of q dash of x? At x is equal to 0, q dash of x, it is 1, it is 0, it is 2 cancels out, it is x. So, q dash x is 1 plus x. So, at x is equal to 0, it is again 1. What is the value of q double dash x at x is equal to 0? The first derivative is 1 plus x, okay, 2 cancels out, 1 plus x. Second derivative is 1. So, at x is equal to 0, q double dash x is equal to 1. So, again it satisfies the conditions for our original functions up to third derivative. Now, let us draw the curve of this polynomial 1 plus x square by 2, and this curve will be like this. This is 1 plus x square by 2. Now, we can see that when we take this sum to 3 terms, second order polynomial, the overlapping region of e to the power x and this quadratic polynomial is quite a range, unlike your 1 plus x, which was touching at a single point, but here they are coinciding in a region. So, it is closely approximating, right. So, in this way, if we go on like this, if we define a polynomial like this, p of x is equal to 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial plus x to 4 by 4 factorial, so on, x to the power n by n factorial, so on. Then if we take it up to an nth order polynomial, then definitely the curve of this polynomial will be very close to the e to the power x. Therefore, in general, our polynomial approximation to this function e to the power x will take the form like p of x will be summation x to the power k by k factorial, k goes from 0 to n. Okay. So, that it is this value. When we put k is equal to 0, it is 1, then k is equal to 1, it is x, then it is x square by 2 factorial, for k is equal to 2, for k is equal to 3, it will be x to the power 3 factorial, so on. So, this is an approximation, polynomial approximation to a function, okay, provided this must satisfy the conditions, like in general, if we say this polynomial p of x is equal to say c0, the first term is c0 plus c1 x, the coefficients, plus c2 x square plus c3 x cube, so on up to cn x to the power n. Then what will be the c0? c0 is derivative of p of x at x is equal to 0. Okay. So, our C 0 is p dash of x at 0 or p dash of 0. Similarly, C 1 is equal to p double dash of 0 by how much? C 1 is equal to p dash of 0, C 0 is equal to p 0, C 1 is equal to p dash of 0, because when we put x is equal to 0, these things value vanish, p of 0 is equal to C 0. When you take first derivative of this vanishes, and at x is equal to 0, the rest of the terms vanishes, it will be C 1. Then C 2 will be p 2 dash of 0, okay. But here there will be a term 2 that will be divided over here. Similarly, C 3 will be p 3 at 0 by 3 factorial, so on. So, in general the nth coefficient will be, or any kth coefficient will be f k, kth derivative of f of x at 0 divided by k factorial. So, it has to satisfy this condition. Okay. So, when we express this I mean your polynomial expansion or the function as an approximation of infinite series as a polynomial function, then the coefficients of each term must satisfy this condition. These are the conditions to be satisfied. Okay. And as we increase the number n as large as possible, the approximation, I mean the closeness of the polynomial with the given function will be more, right. So, every time we terminate with a finite terms, we are left with a remainder, Okay. Therefore, we can always write that this f of x is equal to our summation k is equal to 0 to n f of k about 0 by k factorial plus some remainder R n. So, that when limit n tends to infinite, this R n tends to 0, then this function will be this infinite series functions. This is the theory of this series function, and this kind of series we are taking is called a Taylor series, okay, where coefficients are like this f of k, I mean kth derivative of f of 0 by k factorial is the coefficient of x to the power k, and we have expanded this function as a series about x is equal to 0. If we want to expand it about x is equal to say any point a, then it will be our f of x, then our f of x will be summation k is equal to 0 to n f kth derivative at a by k factorial into, okay, I have missed here, when I am expressing this function, these are the coefficients into x to the power k, because what is the function? Function is coefficient into x to the power 1, x to the power 2, x to the power 3, x to the power 4, so on. So, f kth derivative k factorial is the coefficient of x to the power k. So, this is summation is this into x to the power k. So, when we express it about a point a, then it will be this into x to the power x minus a to the power k. Here we have expanded the function infinite as a infinite series about x is equal to 0. Now, about x is equal to a, the infinite series summation will be this much, okay. And of course, with this approximation there is always an error, because we have terminated it into finite terms. So, that remainder is always there, say R. Okay. We can say this as R n. Okay. So, that after n number of terms the remainders are R n, provided when n tends to infinite this R n tends to 0. Okay. This is called our Taylor series expansion. So, in general the theorem of Taylor's infinite series we can write: if a given function f of x possesses all higher order derivatives in an interval a plus h, then however large a positive number n may be, there exists a number theta lying between 0 and 1 such that f a plus h is equal to f of a plus h into f dash a f of a plus h into f dash a plus h square by 2 factorial f double dash a plus h cube by 3 factorial third derivative of a, so on h n minus 1 by n minus 1 factorial nth derivative of a plus a remainder R n, where R n is equal to f of a plus theta into h nth derivative of this into h to the power n by n factorial. R n is equal to h to the power n nth derivative of a plus theta h by n factorial. And this remainder R n is often called Lagrangian remainder. It tends to 0 when n tends to infinite. So that if we assign this partial sum S n is equal to f of a plus h into f dash of a plus h square by 2 factorial f double dash a, so on h to the power n minus 1 by n minus 1 factorial f, of course here there is mistake, it is f n minus 1, f n minus 1 derivative of a, then f of a plus h is equal to S n plus R n, so that when limit n tends to infinite, f of a plus h is equal to S n, because R n tends to 0. And this expansion of a function about a point as an infinite series or infinite sequence of functions is called Taylor series. This is the theorem of Taylor series. Okay. So, from linear function to second order quadratic, I mean quadratic function to higher order polynomial, we have seen that every function can be expressed as an approximation to the as an approximation of a polynomial function of infinite series. So, there are different series, and one of these series which attains this form is called Taylor series, and this is Taylor's theorem of infinite series. Okay. In the next class, we shall discuss about another important series called binomial series, which was given by Newton. Okay. Till then, thank you.